Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica and today is launch day for our May Pillows of the Month. So every month I'm releasing these fun pillows of the month. They come in both quilted and cross-stitch format, and today is release day for those. But I'm going to start off actually with our stickers because I've also been releasing monthly stickers to go along with them as well. So just a little information on the stickers. There are 6 stickers each month. They are all high quality vinyl stickers, very bright and colorful. They're perfect for water bottles, laptops, guitar cases, and anything else you might want to put them on. So for this month's stickers, I do have our sewing machine sticker. We are doing this every month. The sewing machines are all different, so if you're collecting them month by month, you'll have a whole different set of little sewing machines when we're done. This one features a cute pincushion as well. I'm also naming all the sewing machines, so this one has the name Hyacinth on it. The next sticker we have is our truck sticker. This one's just a really cute little front view of the truck with some fun flowers in the back. I also did a cute little pot with some flowers in it. I thought that was cute. And then we did the scallop one with a tulip inside. And you might recognize this tulip. This is the one from my Sweet Pea quilt. And if I can, I'll insert a picture of that here. I also used that same flower or similar version of that flower on my tulip tote, which was a free tutorial here on YouTube. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. I have our cute sewing mug. This one says bloom where you are planted, and then of course I have our cute pincushion. I am doing pincushions for all of them as well. Each one is a little bit different, and the tops of the pins for this one are cute little flowers. So that's it for my stickers. Those are available in my shop now. Now I did those stickers in purple because I was originally going to do a purple theme for May, but I don't have a whole lot of purple fabric. So I ended up doing my cross stitch and my quilty version in blue, but I think it would be really cute in purple. As a matter of fact, I'll pop up a couple images as we go showing you what it would look like in purple because I did color it both ways. I couldn't decide, but in the end the blue won out because I had more variety of blues to choose from in my stash. Okay, that's it for the stickers. Let's go ahead and talk about the cross stitch pillow. So here's our May cross stitch pillow of the month, and I did a really cute little patchwork border around the outside, and I did a fun label on the side. The patchwork border makes this pillow finish at about 5 by 5, so it's a little bit bigger than some of the other pillows that we've done, but it's still a really great size. And this little label I got, I'll try and find the shop. This was from Etsy, and these are faux leather labels. They're actually for knitting, and I'll show you that when I show you the video of how to assemble this. But this was really cute, and in order to get through this with my sewing machine needle, I just went really slow. It did fine with my regular Oregon 9014 needles. However, if you're having an issue with your sewing machine, you might want to try using a denim needle. Those are a little bit stronger and made to go through thicker materials if you're going to do something like this. If you're not, then you probably don't have to worry about that. But I thought it was really cute. I used a variety of blues, all DMC floss, and then my 14 count Witchell Ada in beautiful beige for the background. And then you'll notice I have a cute little border around it as well. This border is going to be different than the whole cloth version. The patterns all come with a whole cloth pattern on the back page of them. In case you don't want to do all the little pillows, you can do a whole cloth version. But for these little pillows, I'm doing different borders for each one, so they're a little bit unique, which makes them, I think, a little more fun. And then the borders again are those little patchwork squares, which I thought was super cute. And then because I liked our pillow so much from last month, if you missed it, go back and check it out. It was darling. And then here's the back side. I just thought it would be so cute to have that little pocket on there. I really like that because I can have it on display with the pretty side on the front, but then when I turn it around to use it, it's still the pretty side. So this one I just did 3 strips of fabric. I did a little bit of trim on there, and I did this cute striped backing fabric, and this is perfect for holding a little pair of scissors. You can put your pins in here using this part as a pin cushion, and then you can also put a couple wonder clips. So this is a really fun little notion to have sitting around if you're doing binding or any kind of hand stitching. So again, here's the front and the back of our cute May pillow, and I will talk about the fabrics that I used when I do the quilty pillow because the fabric does match, but I did film a video for you on how to put this together with the little patchwork outside and the pocket on the back. So let's go ahead and run that video on how to put together this month's Stitchy Pillow. So I thought I would show you how I put together this. Now it's similar to what I did last month, so if you have any questions, I went in a little more detail with that last month. But basically I made myself a little back pocket. So I just did some strips, plus some lining. I sewed those together and then I added in some fusible fleece, and all the dimensions for this finishing are in the pattern as well. I'm going to add this same little ribbon I did last year because it was so cute. I also have these Made with Love by Erica labels. These are actually for knit hats. They have holes in them so you can tie them onto knit hats, but I'm going to try and add it to my pincushion. I've also got some backing fabric and 2 pieces of my fusible. I've already fused it to my backing fabric, and then I'm going to fuse this one to the back of my stitched piece. And if you've never done fusible fleece before, one side is rough. That's the side that has the glue on it. The other side is nice and soft. That's the side that does not have the glue on it. So just to be aware. And then for our stitched piece, I thought it'd be fun to do a little patchwork border. So I sewed 3 squares together and sewed them both to the sides. And I just used a 1/4 inch seam allowance there. And then I made 2 panels that were 5 squares long, and I'm going to be adding those to the top and bottom. And how I did that was I pressed these outer edges seams in towards the stitching, because on my stitching I pressed out. I find it's kind of hard to press the stitching. This fabric is just a little bit thicker, and it works better if you can press away from your stitching. So I pressed my seams in. That way I can nest those seams right there, and I can just put a pin. I'm not going to put it into my stitching. I try and avoid that. Unless you're going right into the stitched holes, I think it can leave a mark. And then as you can see, those seams are nested nicely. So I'm going to do that to the top. I'm also going to do that to the bottom. And then I'm going to take this to my machine, and I'm just going to sew 1/4 inch on the top and the bottom to attach that patchwork panel. Ooh, Laura Star. And then I'm just going to quickly set that, and then I am going to press this out, and I am pressing on my stitching just a little bit. I'm going to turn that over and press it from the back more. Try not to press too much on the top side, but... And there we have our cute little patchwork panel around the outside, and now we're going to make this into our pillow cushion. So I'm going to set this part aside, and now I'm going to work on this pocket. Now, like I said, I've already sewn strips together and the backing on and added my batting. And then next I'm going to take my trim and just stitch it right along that top edge. And there we go, and I just use a straight stitch, and just as close to the edge as I can, just so that it's adhered, but it's not in the way. I'm just going to trim off the excess, just like that, so it's ready to go. So our pocket is finished. So now we can layer that pocket right on top of our backing fabric, and my next step is to adhere this on to the back of our stitching. And I just like to do that to give it a little bit more protection. And you're just going to want to follow the instructions for your fusible fleece. This Laura Star fuses it down in like seconds. Like, it's already fused. So that's something that's really nice about this iron. That hot, dry steam really fuses that really quickly. All right, so now we can just layer everything. So we've got our backing with the fusible on it. We're going to place our pocket right side up onto our backing. I'm going to take my little label and fold it in half. Hopefully my needle can get through this. It's not real leather, so I'm hoping we'll be okay there. And I'm going to place that right on the side there, and just to keep all those layers together right now, I'm going to put a clip there. And you're just lining up your raw edges of your label along the raw edges of your fabric, and then your label is going to go in toward the inside. Next, we're going to take this, place it right there on top, right side down, and I am going to pin it around just to hold all those layers in place. And we're going to sew all the way around this using about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Just make sure you get all of your layers in, so you have to do a little bit more, that's okay. And you're going to leave an opening about 1.5 to 2 inches on one of these sides. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, when you're sewing your patchwork together, because we're going to have an opening somewhere along here. I'm probably gonna leave it along the bottom. There are seams right here. So one thing I like to do is make sure I backstitch on those pieces, or the other thing you can do if you forgot like me is you can run a straight stitch across these pieces just really close to that edge, like 1/8 of an inch away from the edge, and that'll make those seams a little bit stronger, so when you flip it right side out you won't tear those seams open. And that's exactly what I did right here on mine. I just ran a straight stitch right along that edge to give those seams a little more security. And so now I can go ahead and take my piece, and we're going to sew all the way around the outside edge, leaving that area where I did that extra stitching open to turn our piece right side out. The next step, we're just going to cut off those corners like we always do. That gets rid of some of the bulk in those corners. Just make sure you don't cut into your stitch line. And then we're going to turn our piece inside out, and just make sure you're turning it inside out with the pocket, between the pocket and the front. You don't want to do it in between the pocket and the backing, if that makes sense, because then you'll kind of have a little bit of a mess on your hands. So just make sure you're turning it right side out the correct way. And I like to just push it down from the back and push that back out through the hole. I think that's a little bit easier to get all of those layers out. So just take your time with it, go slow, and ease all those layers through that opening. Once you have it all the way opened, I do like to use my point turner on this to poke out those corners. And this point turner is from Modern American Vintage. It is in the ambrosia wood, and I love it so much. And it's not so pokey that it pokes through my fabric, which is one of the reasons I like it. It really pokes the corners out, but it doesn't make a hole in your project. And I have made plenty of holes in my project using the really pointy point turners. So once you have all of your corners poked out, I do go ahead and give it one more press, and I pressed in the open edges down there in about 1/4 of an inch so that they're even with the other edges. And then I like to just give the whole piece a little bit of a press, and you can really see that steam coming out of my Laura Star there. I love this iron so much. So once you've got it pressed out, all you need to do is stuff it with whatever you want to stuff it with. I'm going to just use pillow stuffing for this one, but you can use walnut shells or anything else you like, and then just sew that opening closed. And if you need help sewing that opening closed, check out my January video. I show how to do that in detail, so I'm not going to show it in this video. And that's it, guys. As you can see, this pillow turned out so cute. I'm trying to make them all a little bit different for you, just to give you different finishing ideas. And then I think it's going to be really cute to have like a little bowl with all of these pillows displayed in it once they're done. And right now I just have them sitting on a shelf back here, but I think that'll be really cute. And then each one will be a little bit different, but also similar. So that's it for the Stitchy Pillow. Let's go ahead and talk about the Quilty Pillow. So here is the quilty version. This one turned out really cute. Again, we have that big chunky flower, and it is sitting in a pot. It's hard to tell with how chunky this pillow is, but I do love it. So this is really fun. This is a great opportunity to use some scraps. You can use all different fabrics for your petals and these little snowballed corners. I used a low volume for my flower center as well, so it would stand out, but you could definitely put a color in there if you wanted. And then of course we have those cute little stem and leaves, and then I'll take it out of the pillow so you can see the pot a little bit better. On the back side, I actually didn't have enough of one fabric. So I made the executive decision to have 2 different fabrics on there. So I've got this cute floral and this cute gingham, and I think it just makes the pillow look scrappy and fun. So I'm okay with that, and I wanted to share that with you in case, you know, the pattern calls for a 1/2 yard of fabric for the backings for them. And if you don't have that, that's okay. Dig in your stash, get a couple fat quarters, and you can use 2 different fat quarters to make your backings. For the binding, I use this fun gingham binding, and then here's my Handmade by Erica label that I got from Ever Emblem. And I've been putting these labels on all of my smaller projects. I think it's really fun to label your projects, and that way as they get passed down through the years, everybody knows who made them and where they came from. So I'm trying to keep all these pillows pretty simple, but I did have a tip for you whenever you are joining 2 blocks that have snowballed corners. So you want those points to meet up really well. So my first tip is to press your seams in opposite directions. So you'll see here I pressed all of the light blue fabric towards the white and all the dark blue fabric towards the dark blue. That way when I flip over my seams and pin them together, those seams will nest and line up really nicely. And you can see there that those seams line up great. The other tip I have is I will place my pin 1/4 of an inch in on both pieces right along that seam line so that I know for a fact they're going to line up, and then that way I pin them that way, and that can also really help lining up those seams as well, and they should again still nest because you've pressed them in opposite directions. Then of course we're going to take that to our machine and sew those together using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then as you can see here, look at how nice those seams are already lining up and I haven't even pressed it. Now you can either press it to one side or on pieces like this, I tend to like to press it open. It distributes some of that bulk. So I will press on the back side and then I'll give it a quick press on the front side as well. And look at how well those seams are lining up. And even if the bottoms aren't exactly perfect of your block, that'll get taken care of when you sew your block together. So what you want to focus on is getting those seams to line up. Tip number 2 is to square up your blocks as you go. Most of my patterns have squaring up instructions in them, so I'm squaring up each of these blocks after I added those snowballs just to make them more accurate. And then my last tip is to use Mary Ellen's Best Press or pre-starch your fabric. That can really help keep your fabric from stretching when you're doing things like snowballed corners. And that's it. Otherwise, this block is really easy to put together. So that's the Quilty pillow. I am going to take it out of the pillow form now so that you can see it a little bit better because sometimes it's hard to see. I recommended doing a 20 by 20 or even a 22 by 22 pillow insert, and that way your pillow gets nice and fluffy and full. But sometimes it makes it a little bit harder to see the design up close. So here it is out of the pillowcase, and you can see that cute little planter or pot that it's in and this adorable flower. For the quilting on this, I just did a crosshatch, a really wide crosshatch. This was like 2.5 inches wide, I think. And I'm kind of excited to wash this and see if it gets a little bit crinkly. Finishing it with binding like this means there's no raw edges anywhere on the outside or inside of this pillow, so they're perfectly washable. But I am kind of excited to wash this, let it get crinkly and quilty, and see how those really wide crosshatch patterns work out. And I did my crosshatch lines the same way I did them for the April chicken pillow. I show you that in that video, but basically I just use my Creative Grids ruler. I line it up from corner to corner and then I trace it using my Hera marker. And this one is from Modern American Vintage. This is my favorite one. And he has a ton of different wood varieties to choose from, but this one is my favorite. And I wasn't sure if I would like it at first because it doesn't seem quite as sharp as, for example, this one. This one is just a clover Hera marker and point turner. This one is pretty sharp and it does leave good creases, but I'm not sure why. The wood one actually leaves wonderful creases and they're really easy to follow when you're quilting. You can see them really well. So this is my preferred one to go to right now. But I just lay my ruler down and then just draw on my quilt using my Hera marker, and then I just line it up with that line, scoot over and draw some more. And doing it that way, you can make them any size you want, and it just makes it really nice, easy, straight lines to follow when you're quilting. And then I just quilted it using my regular foot with the top and the batting right here on my Juki that you see in all my videos. Now I said that I would talk about the fabric that we're using for all these projects a little bit later, and now is the time. I have a huge announcement. I do have my first fabric line will be coming soon. It's going to be titled Bloom, and we are this close to releasing it. So I'm really, really excited about it. I hope you guys are too. These samples, so this Quilty pillow, and I'll show you one more time, and the Stitchy pillow were both made using this new fabric line. This has been in the works for a while, and this is also the reason that I took a break on the 2024 Sew With Me blocks. I did not do those for this year, and I know I've had a lot of requests for them. I will probably bring them back for 2025 because so many people have asked for them, but this year I just needed to take a little bit of break so I could focus on this new fabric line because it does take a lot of attention, mental space, and work, and I just wanted to make sure that I could have enough time to dedicate to that so that we could get it released this year. So I'm really, really excited. This has been in the works for a while. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek. I hope you're gonna love it as much as I do, and it will be releasing soon. So stay tuned for this space. I'll also be releasing it, of course, on all of my social media channels as well. So that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the May Quilty and Stitchy Pillow of the Month release and the stickers of the month as well. I'm having so much fun designing all of those. And like I said, stay tuned for my new fabric collection coming soon. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. And then you can also hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time.